I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. I know what it's like to be hated.
It's official. A few months ago, the Indiana Fever were a different team. Whispers in the locker room have evolved into a major franchise disruption. Depending on who you ask, head coach Stephanie White has either resigned or been fired. And taking her place, a name that is more significant than nearly anyone in the history of women's basketball. Yes, Cheryl Miller, the sister of Pacers great Reggie Miller and the lady who laid the groundwork for women's basketball greatness, is being connected to an unexpected comeback. This is what the Fever refer to as a new beginning. However, this is undoubtedly a change of power. The kind that has the power to alter a league's course. Because everything changes on the court, in the locker room, and within the league office itself when a legendary person like Cheryl Miller takes over as Caitlin Clark's coach. Let's examine how this occurred. How the team was lost by Stephanie White. How the Fever was altered by Clark's growing power, and why Cheryl Miller might be the only one with the ability to reverse it.
One of the best that's ever played the game, so I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun. Like, I called her coach, and she was like, I don't know about that yet. You'll have to see how I do during the game.
It took time for it to happen. Stephanie White's relationship with her roster steadily declined for months. A seasoned coach guiding a youthful team through the attention storm that accompanied Caitlin Clark's debut initially appeared to be typical growing pains. However, the pressure increased as the Fever's games turned become national events. Under cameras and internet scrutiny, every play, timeout, and locker room exchange is magnified. Clark's artistic flexibility clashed with White's regimented, traditional coaching method. White desired execution and discipline. Clark desired the freedom to lead the way and improvise. During one practice, players started to notice the strain. According to insiders, things became tense. "You're not running Iowa anymore," White allegedly said to Clark. The room fell silent. "You're in the pros now." Whether deliberate or not, that remark quickly went viral, and players soon began taking sides. Insiders said the Fever's locker room was disorganized by the middle of the season.
Watch that play where she didn't pass Kelsey the ball after Coach Stephanie White benched her for having a few turnovers in a row. That would have been a momentum shift in the game. That actually looked like it could have been a wide open pass, and it's something that Caitlin does on the regular.
White's authority was supported by half of the team. Silently, the other half trailed behind Clark. The end is certain when a star's influence surpasses the coach's voice. It was when, not if. Owner Steve Simon was enraged behind closed doors. He had been waiting for a moment like Caitlin Clark's arrival for years, rebuilding this franchise strategically, culturally, and financially. She wasn't merely selected in the draft. She was a force for change. The merchandise was sold out. Viewership broke all previous records. All of a sudden, the Fever became the WNBA's face. However, the headlines were suddenly becoming poisonous. There were rumors of conflicts between the coach and the celebrity, turbulence in the locker room, and that Clark's team was looking for a fresh voice. Several emergency meetings with club executives were allegedly convened by Simon. He had no desire for justifications. He desired to regain control. It was said simply by a front office source. Another rebuild was not what Steve wanted. His goal was to establish a dynasty. And if your coach and your star are vying for the same throne, you can't build that.
I've definitely been giving the benefit of the doubt this entire season. I just would hate to see some of the things that make Caitlin Caitlin, the things that fans love the most about Caitlin, be coached out of her. Those risky passes, the 10 turnovers, it might just happen sometimes with Caitlin because that's the style.
Simon has two choices. Put more pressure on his coach or give his superstar the reins. The decision was simple in a league that relies heavily on marketing and charisma. Stephanie White's future in Indiana was assured in a matter of days. The Fever referred to it as mutual in public. Everyone knew the truth in private. The room had been lost by Stephanie White. According to reports, the front desk gave her the option to step down amicably and avoid the title, fired. Despite her acceptance, the feelings persisted. It was said that White's last meeting with the players was cordial but tense. She congratulated them for their efforts, encouraged them to maintain their confidence, and left without turning around. Knowing that her successor wouldn't be just anybody, however, was what truly hurt. It was going to be Cheryl Miller, a name strong enough to destroy everything she had created in a single night. It was aptly summed up by one feverish employee. While Stephanie constructed the foundation, Cheryl caused the earthquake. The internet went crazy as soon as Cheryl Miller's name appeared in the media. Social media went crazy. One question fired up the comment sections. Will Cheryl actually return? Because this isn't just another rumor about a coach. This legend is returning to the game that she contributed to its creation. Let's keep in mind who we are discussing. One of the greatest college athletes of all time, a Namath Hall of Famer, an Olympic gold medalist, and the elder sister of Indiana basketball's crown prince, Reggie Miller. She has coached in the WNBA and at USC, although she has been away from the sideline for years, concentrating on mentoring and broadcasting. Why now, then? According to people familiar with the matter, Steve Simon spoke with Miller directly. He was looking for a leader who could demand Caitlin Clark's respect, not just a coach. One insider claims that everyone was taken aback by Miller's response.
No, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, and look, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason. And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
If I accept this job, I'm not here to babysit a superstar, she informed them. My goal is to create a champion. On the internet, that one sentence became a rallying cry. It's fiery. It has no fear. It's exactly what Indiana needs, pure Cheryl Miller. Everyone's attention was drawn to Caitlin Clark as word of Miller's involvement began to spread. Was she the one who did it? Did her camp advocate for this? Clark said nothing in public. No interviews, tweets, or comments. However, sources claim that she was inspired and thrilled in private. Players like Miller, Lisa Leslie, and Diana Taurasi, the pioneers who made women's basketball possible, were idolized by Clark as a child. It would be a complete circle to be tutored by one of them.
And the brand of basketball that Caitlin plays, and to be honest, it's a brand of basketball that we haven't really seen in the women's game.
The number of tweets surged. Indiana basketball royalty united, Clark and Miller. This is the action that transforms everything. This wasn't about power for Clark. It has to do with mentoring and the unique opportunity to receive guidance from someone who has been there before. However, not everyone agrees. According to reports, some Fever veterans who played under White for years felt taken aback. She was viewed by them as a guide, a soothing figure who valued their development. They are now being informed that everything they constructed will be reset. It feels like Caitlin runs this team now, an unnamed player allegedly said to a reporter. In her film Harsh Words, the rest of us are merely extras. To be honest, though, Indiana's dynamic has entirely shifted. This team is no longer rebuilding. There is conflict since it's a brand. Miller's role will involve more than just coaching. Rebuilding trust, controlling egos, and demonstrating that she is more than just a celebrity hire are all part of it. But she's the one who can accomplish that. She is renowned for her ruthless fairness. She will push Clark as hard as she pushes the bench. And it could be the key to bringing this roster back together. This action has a poetic quality as well. Reggie Miller's record-breaking career, his legacy, and his devotion to the Pacers have all always made Indiana his kingdom. And now, decades later, his sister could be the Fever's lifeblood. Just picture it. A new era for Indiana basketball is being ushered in by both Millers. There is one for males and one for women. Fans adore it. The media adores it. Additionally, Steve Simon is an expert in his field. This goes beyond basketball. It's narrative. And for years, the WNBA has yearned for narratives like this. Reggie is already contributing to the excitement. He shared a mysterious message on the internet following the announcement. She has returned. You're not prepared, Indiana. In a few hours, that post alone received millions of views. It feels like fate that the Miller name is back in the building. Without a doubt, there is more to this move than just the Fever. It will have repercussions for the whole WNBA. The coaching ranks would immediately gain credibility with Cheryl Miller's return. You are discussing the return of one of the game's founding figures at a time when women's basketball is experiencing an explosion in popularity. TV networks are already wondering about how this can increase viewership. According to ESPN analysts, it's a brilliant marketing and basketball strategy combined. Sponsors adore it. Fans adore it. Even detractors acknowledge that the WNBA hasn't had a coaching story this significant in a long time. The people she is coaching are much more intriguing. Caitlin Clark is not your typical rookie. She is an empire in the media. Her exposure, influence, and endorsement deals are unparalleled. The best story is created when Cheryl Miller takes her under her wing. The prodigy is being coached by the pioneer. It is a historic event. It has symbolic meaning. It's also a box office hit. To be honest, though, there is some risk associated with this approach. Cheryl Miller is traditional. She is not a sugarcoater. She demands excellence. Caitlin Clark is vocal, aggressive, and passionate. Just as effortlessly as they could click, their personalities could conflict. If it succeeds, the Fever turns into an unstoppable, disciplined, driven force. However, if it doesn't work out, it can become another media circus. Every timeout, every exchange, and every camera viewpoint will be observed by fans. Was Cheryl shouting too loudly? Was Caitlin rolling her eyes? Was there conflict? Everything will be satisfied. Even the finest teams can crumble under such pressure. Indiana will have to walk that cue. There is no third ground, greatness or implosion. What specifically would Cheryl Miller contribute to this team, then? Anticipate a move towards traditional principles, responsibility, energy, and defense. She thinks that earning minutes is more important than entitlement. She will insist that Clark lead not only statistically but also publicly. She will also encourage athletes like Aaliyah. Kelsey Mitchell and Boston should take charge rather than follow in Clark's footsteps. The Fever could become more than just Caitlin Clark's squad as a result. Cheryl doesn't coach to make you like her, remarked an assistant coach who used to work with Miller. She gives you wonderful coaching. And Indiana has been lacking just that kind of leadership. This action simultaneously defines three legacies. It's bittersweet for Stephanie White. She assists in stabilizing a franchise before a living icon takes her place. For Cheryl Miller, it's an opportunity to prove she can still be a leader in a contemporary game. It's also Caitlin Clark's next step from being a viral sensation to a real professional leader. If this collaboration works, women's basketball may reach previously unheard of heights. If it doesn't work, it will be researched and discussed for years. In any case, history is being written. If the rumors are accurate, when Cheryl Miller returns to that court in Indiana, the sound within. There will be more than just applause at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Electricity will be used. Since this goes beyond hiring. It's a declaration. The Fever have had enough of being the underdogs. They have had enough of being the test. With a generational talent on the floor and a Hall of Fame thinker on the bench, they are prepared to rule. Stephanie White walked in order for this to occur. And now Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Miller are going to run. This is the new era for Indiana. The Miller-Clark dynasty is this. And the WNBA won't look the same if that actually occurs. Do you believe Cheryl Miller is the best coach to help Caitlin Clark reach her greatest potential, or do you think this is just another excessive front office risk? Please share your opinions below. Additionally, you can express your support for this new Fever age by typing Dynasty Mode in the comments.